The Abominable Snowman. The scene is the Royal Geographical Society in London. The time is October 1951.
Order, ladies and gentlemen. Order, please. Ladies and gentlemen, I have great pleasure in introducing to you Mr. Eric Shipton. Mr. Shipton is, as you know, the leader of our expedition to the Himalayas. Several weeks ago, as you know, he reported by radio that he had found footprints in the snow. These were of such a strange nature that we have brought him back from Nepal to report to us here at the Society. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Shipton.
Ladies and gentlemen, you all know about the Abominable Snowman, the Yeti as he is called by the Sherpas. There have been reports about the Yeti since the year 1899 when the first footprints were found. Many people say that it is nothing more than a legend.
And so it is, a legend.
That is what I thought myself, sir, until 3 weeks ago. We were high up on the slopes of Mount Everest in deep snow when Michael Ward, Sherpa Tenzing, and myself suddenly saw footprints.
It's a hoax.
The man's a liar.
Order, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, order, please.
As you well know, the Sherpas believe that the Yeti has the body of an ape and the face of a human.
That's a likely story.
Please, sir, I must ask you to be quiet.
They believe that it is well over 2 meters high, and of course the most interesting feature is its enormous feet.
Excuse me, can I ask a question?
Yes, madam.
Mr. Shipton, you say that the Yeti is over 2 meters high?
No, madam, the Sherpas believe that it is well over 2 meters high.
That is surely bigger than the biggest ape.
It is indeed very large, madam, if it is true. The Sherpas also say that his body is covered with hair. They think also that it is very fierce and wild. I wouldn't like to meet it on a dark night.
Mr. Chairman, can I ask if the Yeti, as it is called, has ever attacked humans?
I'm afraid I cannot answer that question, madam. I simply don't know. What I do know is that the Sherpas are very frightened of the Yeti. If it exists. As you say, sir, if it exists. May I continue, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, please carry on, Mr. Shipton. We are all very interested.
As I say, we saw a line of footprints in the snow.
How big were they?
We measured them very carefully, and they were well over 12 inches long.
Must have been a policeman.
Perhaps I could ask a question here, Mr. Shipton. When did you find these footprints?
It was in the middle of the morning, Mr. Chairman, about 11 o'clock, as I remember.
And was the light good? Was the sun out?
Yes, the weather was perfect, Mr. Chairman, and the footprints were very clear indeed.
Go on, Mr. Shipton. Tell us some more about these footprints.
The footprints went on for a good 2 kilometers before we lost them in the rocks.
Are you saying that these footprints went for 2 kilometers? There must have been hundreds of prints.
Yes, sir, that is quite correct. There were hundreds of footprints, and we could see each of them very clearly.
Can you describe them, Mr. Shipton?
Yes, sir. Each print clearly showed the toes and the heel.
Did you take any photographs?
Yes, sir, we did. And I now have pleasure in showing you an enlarged photograph of one of the footprints. A footprint of the Abominable Snowman. The Himalayan Yeti.
How far apart were the footprints?
They were 1.5 to 2 meters apart.
That means that they were made by a very large animal.
You are right, Mr. Chairman. The animal must have been very large indeed.